So we've talked summer travel, but what if you plan on staying put and making the Memorial Day weekend with a good old-fashioned barbecue while your wallet may be in for a bit of a shock? Brooke DiPalma is here with those details. Brooke, how much more expensive is it going to be this year?
Well, unfortunately, Shauna, it's going to cost more than Memorial Day last year. I mean, CPI inflation just continues to run hot, and so consumers here in the U.S. at least can expect to spend more. Taking a closer look at what's going to cost you the most higher year over year. Hot dogs up 2.2% year over year. Poultry also up 5%. This is all based on April's CPI print. Some good news on uncooked ground beef. It's about down 2.1%, but higher month over month, up 0.6%. And to use some buns for those hot dogs, that's also going to cost you there. It's up 12.9%. Spices, seasoning, condiments, as well as sauces, also higher, up 10.3%. Now, what's driving that increase, particularly within sauce categories, we've seen consumer-facing companies like Kraft Heinz raise prices year over year. What we know is that they did, in fact, raise prices 15.2 percentage points in Q4 compared to the year prior, but we're also seeing snacks higher year over year. So think potato chips, think Doritos, perhaps. Those are 10.1% higher year over year. We know that PepsiCo raised its average prices double digits in Q1 year over year once again. And this comes as inflation continues to be an ongoing tale here in the U.S. Based on that CPI print, overall inflation rose 4.9% last month, and groceries in particular up 7.1%. And so yet again, while we're seeing some deflation in food, Americans can still expect to pay more this Memorial Day weekend compared to last year.
Yeah, so that begs the question, are they willing to pay more? Because what we just heard from TripAdvisor's Matt Goldberg is that Americans are still putting up with higher prices, at least when it comes to travel. What are you finding on the food side?
Yeah, well, it seems like Americans are still willing to put up with this. We heard many times that the American consumer remains resilient. Actually, based upon a recent survey from Numerator, 3/4 of U.S. consumers still plan to celebrate Memorial Day. We're seeing celebrations actually increase year over year despite these higher prices. So expect more people attending or hosting parties this weekend. And one driver of that, one economist told me, is that the labor market continues to remain strong. We're seeing more Americans working. In particular, Michael Swenson told Yahoo Finance, quote, "We've added a couple million of people to the payroll. So when you have a couple million more people working, getting a paycheck, suddenly food prices are less of an issue." Now, based on that survey from Numerator, we do expect the majority of Americans to look for bargains. But Michael Swanson did tell me that you're not going to find too many. There's not any screaming bargains out there. But what we can expect, the good news here, is that compared to recent years, we're not going to see shortages this Memorial Day weekend.
Yeah, some silver lining there. Brooke DiPalma, have a good weekend.